And now we're back to part 3. We're, it's taking 3 parts to get through this. So, later, Peter and MJ have a talk about uh, their relationship, and he says that he doesn't love her now, even though he's been pestering her to be with him for the past 2/3 of the movie, and she asks him to kiss her. Note that Mary Sue is still engaged. Right before they kiss, Peter's spider sense activates and he dodges a car thrown by Dr. Octopus. Deus Ex Machina, anyone? Doc Ock, who was told not to kill Peter Parker, yet threw a car at him while he wasn't looking, which without his powers working would have done nothing but that. Which, even if Harry Osborn didn't say anything, didn't tell him not to kill Peter, that would have kept Doc Ock from learning where Raimiman was. Best interrogation method ever. Fling a car at somebody while they're not looking. Truly, you are an expert genius, Doc Ock. So, Mary Sue gets kidnapped for the th time in a row. And now, Peter Parker becomes Raimiman. Not when a guy gets beaten up, not when someone dies in a fire, not even when a little kid says he misses him. Only when his precious Mary Sue is in danger. Like I said, people, our hero. So, Raimiman has a fight with Doc Ock on a train, which leads to an accident that Raimiman barely prevents, which is actually pretty decent, albeit we could have done without the whole having his mask off. And then this leads to another huge, insufferable problem. With the whole bunch of people on the train, they say they missed him and carry him like he's Jesus. Alright. Here's the problem. Part here's part of Spider-Man and superheroes in general's deal with its people's mixed reaction to them. Some people think that they're heroes, others think that they're a vigilante causing more harm, which goes to the fact that basically nobody was against him. And don't anybody say J. Jonah Jameson because he doesn't count. Yet another matter I will address in The Amazing Spider-Man. So, Doc Ock captures Raimiman, and gives him to Harry to complete their deal, and Harry gives him the tritium experiment, which happened to be at his mansion, which I just pointed out made that Doc Ock could have just tortured him, got into that tritium, and made this entire thing completely pointless. I feel like if I keep pulling at every plot hole in this movie, I'll never get done with this review. Let's just try to get this as fast as we can. Harry discovers Pete is Spider-Man. Pete convinces Harry to let him go since he needs to save Mary Sue. Granted, he does not resolve the matter of him being accused of killing his father by simply telling him that he's a and his father was a insane psychopath, and or better yet, just could have just brought this to the police. But let's just move along. Uh, P, let's see. Uh, then Raimiman has another fight with Doctor Octopus. Raimiman defeats him, and Doc Ock says it was the arms that made him do it. Similar to how Norman said it was the Green Power Ranger knockoff personality that made him do it right before he inadvertently kills himself. Peter convinces Otto to stop the experiment, thus sacrificing his life. Peter shows he's Raimiman to marry Sue, who the next day leaves her fiance at the altar with a note breaking up the engagement. Doesn't even show up in person. She runs to Peter's apartment to tell him she loves him and that she can choose to be with him if she wants, and they live happily ever after. Until the next movie. So, let's recap here. The love interest just ditched her fiance, someone she agreed to marry, to be with the hero because he revealed his identity and the reason why he couldn't be with her in the first movie. Do I even need to explain what's wrong with that? Chances are I probably will, so I will when I go into dissecting the characters. And anyway, the movie ends off with Harry finding out his dad was the Green Power Ranger knockoff, much to his regret. Which leads to Raimiman 3, where he becomes New Goblin. What's the problem with that? Well, simple. Harry Osborn was doing this because he felt an innocent man had been murdered, his father, at the hands of Raimiman. Now he has found out that his father is not only not an innocent man, but a murdering psychopath, and yet thus robbing any motivation to get revenge, and yet he still becomes the new Goblin and tries to get revenge against Peter Parker. Make up your mind, man. Oh, let's talk about those characters. Peter Parker. Peter Parker is so unlikable in this movie. Even if he lost his powers, he doesn't use his fighting experience to help those in need, and doesn't even bother to call the police by that matter. And it's not until the woman he obsessively chased for, who was engaged, no less, is in peril. He doesn't even try to be there as a friend. He wants to be her lover. In one movie, they made Peter into a complete asshole. Despite what some people say, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man isn't the asshole. It's this guy. This is the Spider-Man, or be more accurate, Raimiman, who should be condemned. And after thinking about the lesson, sometimes to do what's right, we have to give up what we want the most, even our dreams. Has absolutely nothing to do with the hero. It has absolutely no relevance. Peter, after giving up his responsibilities as Raimiman, didn't change his life much. He does not change in character. Granted, these whole movies pretty much bring him up back to the same character he started out to be. So there's no character development there. His job is doing more or less the same. His grades improved by studying more. And according to Raimiman 3, he's Raimiman and he still gets good grades, so it's just a scheduling issue. He doesn't get the girl until he revealed his identity. Aunt May is still financially screwed, not like our hero did much to help her after losing his powers. One might argue he lost his friendship with Harry Osborn, but that pretty much ended at the bar scene where he still had his powers and he was obsessively trying to get back at Raimiman. And Peter didn't make any efforts afterwards to get Harry out of his drunken obsession with Raimiman. This lesson only exists as a ploy to change the villain's ways, which is a downright pathetic move. If a lesson doesn't apply to both a hero and a villain, you messed up as a writer. And it should be fucking evident that this movie is the product of poor writing. Now, hopefully, I'll be able to finish this in part 4.